What happens when love is both the strongest reason to fight and the biggest reason to walk away? The new trailer for Culpa Nuestra throws us back into the world of Noah and Nick, where passion and pain collide like fire and storm. This is not just a love story anymore, it's a battle between loyalty, secrets, and choices that will shape their future forever. Fans who thought the last chapter left their hearts racing will find themselves asking, is this the beginning of their end or the most powerful test of love yet? Before we dive into the trailer, let's take a step back and remember how we got here. Culpa Nuestra, Our Fault, is the final part of the explosive trilogy based on Mercedes Ron's best-selling Culpables novels. The journey started with Culpa Mía, My Fault, where we met Noah, played by Nicole Wallace, a girl whose life changed forever when she met Nick, played by Gabriel Guevara. Their connection was instant, but it came with a twist that no one could ignore. They weren't just lovers, they were step-siblings. That forbidden setup created a storm of emotions. From stolen glances to secret fights, from heated arguments to passionate moments, the story captured the attention of millions. Audiences were pulled into their dangerous love, something they weren't supposed to want but couldn't help rooting for. The first film became a breakout hit for Prime Video, especially with younger audiences who saw pieces of their own emotional chaos reflected on screen. Then came Culpa Tuya, Your Fault, the second chapter. If the first film was about discovering love, the sequel was about testing it. Here, Noah and Nick faced betrayal, jealousy, and the crushing weight of family drama. Everything was louder, darker, and more intense. New characters entered their lives, creating cracks in their already fragile relationship. Fans were left with questions, fears, and a desperate need for answers. Would Noah and Nick survive together? Or would the pain of their bond tear them apart for good? And now, in 2025, the story comes to its final and most emotional chapter, Culpa Nuestra, Our Fault. From the very first moment of the trailer, you can feel the weight of everything that came before. There's tension in every glance, urgency in every word. This isn't just about young love anymore. It's about consequences, decisions, and the truth that sometimes love demands sacrifice. The anticipation is massive. Fans have waited years to see how Noah and Nick's journey would end. Will their love conquer the challenges, or will the final chapter prove that some relationships are doomed no matter how strong the passion? With Nicole Wallace and Gabriel Guevara returning to bring their characters to life once again, the trailer promises a ride filled with drama, heartbreak, and unforgettable moments. What makes this trilogy stand out is how real it feels. The emotions are raw, the conflicts messy, and the stakes painfully high. It's not a fairy tale romance, it's love on the edge, love that tests the limits of what we can handle. That's why Culpa Nuestra is not just another Amazon Prime release, it's a cultural event. It's the finale fans around the world have been holding their breath for. And the trailer makes one thing clear, the ending will not be easy, and it will not be what anyone expects. Asterisk, the trailer opens with silence, but it's not an empty silence. It's heavy, charged, like the calm before a storm. We see Noah looking out of a window, her reflection staring back at her, almost as if she's questioning who she has become. Her eyes tell us everything. The girl who once fell in love without thinking is now a woman carrying the weight of every decision she's made. Then the screen cuts to Nick. He's alone, standing in the shadows, his face hard but his eyes restless. Right from the start, the trailer sets up their distance. They are in the same story, but in different worlds. As the music swells, we get glimpses of what has torn them apart. A quick shot of Noah walking away during an argument, her voice breaking as she says, "We can't keep doing this." Her words hit like a knife, not only for Nick, but for every fan watching. Then comes Nick's response. He doesn't shout. He doesn't plead, but the silence in his expression says more than words ever could. This is not the fiery Nick we knew from Culpa Mía. This is a man scarred by love, regret, and fear of losing the only person who ever truly understood him. The trailer doesn't stop there. In rapid cuts, we see flashes of tension. Noah in a car, gripping the wheel too tightly. Nick throwing a punch at someone who dared to cross him. A door slamming in the middle of the night. These moments aren't random. They are promises that this film will not hold back. It will give us chaos, heartbreak, and choices that will break both the characters and the audience watching. Then the pace changes. The trailer slows down as we hear a voice over Noah whispering, "Love isn't enough anymore." That single line changes everything. It tells us that this final chapter won't just be about their chemistry or their passion. It will be about survival. Can love withstand betrayal, anger, and the scars of the past? Or does it collapse when the foundation is too broken to rebuild? But just when we think it's over, the trailer throws in hope. There's a brief shot of Noah and Nick together, standing so close it feels like the world disappears around them. Their hands almost touch, and for a second it's as if nothing else matters. This tiny moment reminds us why fans fell in love with their story in the first place. Even in the darkest times, their connection burns brighter than anything else. The visuals in the trailer are striking. The cinematography leans into deep contrasts, bright lights clashing with heavy shadows, crowded rooms that still feel lonely, and intimate close-ups that make the emotions unavoidable. The music builds layer by layer, moving from soft piano notes to pounding drums, creating a heartbeat that carries us through every scene. Each frame feels like it's preparing us for the emotional earthquake that's coming, and it's not just about Noah and Nick. We catch glimpses of supporting characters who look ready to stir even more trouble. A mysterious figure from Nick's past makes an appearance, his smirk hinting at danger. Noah is also seen with someone new, a friend, or maybe more, adding tension to the already fragile love story. These side plots aren't distractions, they're fuel for the fire, pushing Noah and Nick to their limits. The final moments of the trailer are unforgettable. Nick's voice cuts through the chaos as he says, "If we end, then let it be because you choose it, not because the world tells us to." That line is pure heartbreak, and it sets the tone for everything Culpa Nuestra promises to deliver. It's not just about fighting the world anymore. It's about fighting themselves, their choices, and their fears. By the time the trailer ends, we're left breathless. It doesn't give away answers, it doesn't reveal who wins or loses. Instead, it does something far more powerful. It leaves us with questions. Will Noah and Nick's love survive? Or will this final chapter prove that sometimes love isn't enough? The soul of Culpa Nuestra is not just in the story, but in the way its characters breathe life into it. From the very beginning, Noah and Nick were never simple lovers. They were two broken souls colliding in a way that was as beautiful as it was destructive. And now, in this final chapter, their arcs feel heavier, more layered, and more human than ever before. The trailer gives us small glimpses, but those glimpses are enough to show how much Nicole Wallace and Gabriel Guevara have evolved alongside their characters. Let's begin with Noah, played by Nicole Wallace. In the first film, she was painted as innocent but curious, a girl whose quiet life was shaken by the chaos Nick brought into it. By the second, she was more daring, standing her ground against betrayal and heartbreak. But here in Culpa Nuestra, Noah looks changed in ways that are both subtle and powerful. Her silence in the trailer speaks louder than her words. She isn't just reacting anymore, she's making choices. Her eyes reflect a maturity, as though she knows love doesn't always save you, and sometimes it wounds deeper than anything else. Nicole plays this with incredible restraint, using expression and presence to convey inner battles that fans will feel in their bones. On the other side is Nick, Gabriel Guevara's character. Nick has always been fire-wild, impulsive, and unapologetically passionate. In Culpa Mía, he was the bad boy who crashed into Noah's life, dragging her into his storm. In Culpa Tuya, we saw the cracks in his armor, the vulnerability hiding beneath his anger. And now, in Culpa Nuestra, Nick seems like a man caught between who he was and who he wants to be. Gabriel's performance in the trailer shows us a Nick who is haunted, someone who has loved too much and lost too much but still refuses to let go. He isn't shouting in the clips we see, he's quieter, heavier, and more dangerous in his silence. It's as if Gabriel is telling us that Nick's greatest battles aren't fought with his fists anymore but with his heart. What makes these performances unforgettable is the chemistry between Nicole and Gabriel. From the very first film, their connection has been electric, the kind of chemistry you can't fake, but in Culpa Nostra, it feels different. It's not just sparks, it's history. Every touch, every stare, carries the weight of everything they've been through. When Noah looks at Nick now, it's not just with love or anger, it's with the memory of all the nights they've fought, all the secrets they've kept, all the times they've broken apart and found their way back. And when Nick looks at Noah, his gaze is almost pleading, as though he knows she is both his greatest strength and his deepest wound. The supporting cast also plays a vital role in shaping these arcs. The trailer hints at new faces and familiar ones, each designed to push Noah and Nick further into conflict. There's a shadowy figure from Nick's past, likely someone who will test his loyalty and his temper. There's also a moment where Noah is seen with someone who might represent stability, the kind of life Nick could never offer her. These secondary characters aren't just background noise. They are mirrors reflecting the choices Noah and Nick must make. They force the question, do they stay trapped in their destructive love, or do they finally break free? Another layer worth noting is how the actors embody the physicality of their roles. Nicole's performance is subtle but deliberate, her posture, her controlled expressions, even the way she holds her breath in certain scenes shows Noah's inner struggle between strength and fragility. Gabriel, in contrast, is raw and unpolished. His body language screams tension-clenched fists, restless movements, shoulders weighed down by anger and regret. Together, these performances create a dance of opposites, calm and storm, light and shadow, hope and despair. It's also clear that the director has allowed both Nicole and Gabriel to lean into the emotional chaos of their characters. Rather than making them perfect heroes, the film embraces their flaws. Noah is not always right, and Nick is not always wrong. Their story is messy, and that's what makes it believable. But Mezines is brought to life in the actors' performances, reminding audiences that love, in its truest form, is never clean. It's complicated, painful, and worth every tear. By the time the trailer ends, it's impossible not to feel the weight of these performances. Nicole Wallace gives Noah a depth that feels heartbreakingly real, while Gabriel Guevara transforms Nick into a man who is both terrifying and tender. Their arcs are colliding, their fates uncertain, and that's exactly what makes Culpa Nostra more than just a romance. It's a showcase of two actors at the peak of their craft, telling a story that feels bigger than the screen itself, asterisk at the core of Culpa Nostra. Beyond the glances, the arguments, and the chemistry lies something deeper, the raw themes that keep fans hooked, themes that feel both larger than life and painfully real. The trailer makes one thing clear: this final chapter is not simply about whether Noah and Nick stay together. It's about what love costs when everything is stacked against you. The first theme that stands out is forbiddance love. From the very beginning of the trilogy, Noah and Nick's relationship has been marked by boundaries, society, family, and morality all telling them they shouldn't be together. That tension has been the heartbeat of their story. But in Culpa Nostra, forbiddance love feels less like a teenage rebellion and more like an impossible choice. The trailer shows us Noah whispering lines like, "Love isn't enough anymore." That one statement captures the essence of this theme. What happens when desire collides with reality? Fans are forced to confront the question alongside the characters. Do you follow your heart no matter the cost, or do you surrender to the rules that promise peace but not happiness? Another powerful theme is betrayal and trust. In the earlier films, jealousy and misunderstandings tested Noah and Nick's bond, but in this final chapter, betrayal feels heavier. The quick flashes of Noah with someone else or Nick facing ghosts from his past suggest that temptation and loyalty will once again clash. But this time, the pain of betrayal isn't just about broken hearts, it's about broken futures. The trailer hints at a darker, more permanent kind of consequence, one that may not be so easily forgiven. It reminds us that love is not just about passion, but about trust, and once trust cracks, can it ever be whole again? Then there's the theme of family and identity. Since the very beginning, Noah and Nick's relationship has existed under the shadow of their families. Their status as step-siblings has always been the unspoken weight pressing down on their love. But in Culpa Nuestra, that weight feels heavier than ever. We see moments of family tension, doors slamming, and parents' voices echoing in the background. The trailer makes it clear this is no longer just Noah and Nick's private war. It's a battle that pulls in everyone around them. And with family comes identity. Who are Noah and Nick outside of each other? Who do they want to be beyond their love? Those questions are what give this story its emotional gravity. Sacrifice is perhaps the most haunting theme in the trailer. Sacrifice is written in every line of dialogue, in every pained glance between the leads. Nick's voice saying, "If we end, then let it be because you choose it, not because the world tells us to," is a cry of defiance and surrender all at once. It tells us that this story is about more than winning, it's about choosing. Choosing love, choosing family, choosing survival, even if it means losing the one thing you thought you couldn't live without. This theme resonates because sacrifice is something everyone understands. It's not just about Noah and Nick anymore, it's about every person watching who has ever had to let go of something they love to protect themselves or others. The trailer also carries the theme of maturity and growth. The Noah and Nick we see now are not the same people from the first film. They've been scarred, tested, and broken, and those experiences shape every decision they make in this final chapter. Growth doesn't always mean happiness. Sometimes it means recognizing that love isn't enough to heal everything. This maturity gives the film its emotional weight. It's not about a teenage crush, it's about a love that's survived battles, but may not survive forever. Even the visuals and tone of the trailer reinforce these themes. The use of shadows and light mirrors the tug-of-war between hope and despair. The fast cuts of arguments and silences emphasize the contrast between passion and emptiness. The music rises like a heartbeat, carrying the weight of choices that feel inevitable. Every cinematic choice serves to amplify the emotional core, reminding the audience that this isn't just a love story. It's a tragedy wrapped in hope, and perhaps the most universal theme of all is the cost of love. Every glance between Noah and Nick in the trailer asks the same question: how much are you willing to lose for the person you love? For them, the answer has always been everything. But the final chapter dares to ask if that's enough, or if sometimes love demands too much. By the end of the trailer, these themes leave us shaken. We're not just watching two people struggle with love, we're watching a mirror of ourselves, of the choices we've made, of the heartbreaks we've survived. That's why Culpa Nuestra feels so powerful. It's not just entertainment, it's a reflection of love at its most dangerous, its most beautiful, and its most human.